tag him, the wrestler. And so he just replies and fucks with them every single time. It's great. Just like, up next, Mbop by Warbeard Hansen. I was like, that's great.
Warbeard?
Well, that's his, like, Twitter name.
Oh, that's great.
Like, ad name is Warbeard Hansen.
Imagine if, like, they all just said fuck it and went by their Twitter names as their gimmicks. Because some of them got some weird ones, like Big E's fucking...
I don't understand why Big E's Twitter is what it is.
You know what it is? It is episode 92. Yeah, I did it, guys. I hit the button. We're live. Welcome back. Slam Pigs Podcast. What's going on? The new regime, the usual suspects, and a special guest this week. First and foremost, I'll flip the script and introduce Kuzan first this time. What's going on, man? Welcome back. How you been? How's your week? And where can everyone catch you?
Oh my goodness. First introduction. Hey, I'm Kuzan, Perfect Waste. You can find me on Twitter at KuzanTV. If you're into the gaming, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kuzan_TV. There you go, no fucking around.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Break out your ties, your dress shirts, and your freshest pair of slacks. The Uber tie guys in the house. Colin Dunn, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Where can they catch you?
I just need to have Travis follow me everywhere and just introduce me like that every time I walk into a room. Fantastic. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, to be honest. I've had such a weird, like, podcasting schedule and all that, but I'm back. You can check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy. Formal apology to a friend of the show, Logan Myers. I was supposed to do, like, 4 different things in the past, like, 2 weeks, and each time I had to cancel because life took over.
End this.
It's been a week.
Go ahead and end this. This too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I'm back. I'm back. We're doing it. We're doing it big. We're good. So yeah, I'm here too.
Glad you could make it this week, man. Welcome back. And I'm trying to think of a nice, awesome segue for this, but all I'm thinking is Germany, sauerkraut, God of War, and like Walter beating the shit out of you. But our good buddy JD, our special guest this week from the Red Leaf WrestleCast. You're looking at the picture right there on the screen. What's going on, man? Welcome back, and where can everyone catch you and all your shows at?
Oh, well, it's good to be here, Travis. Very nice Thursday afternoon for myself. You can find me at BowlingJD Twitter, Red Leaf Retrocast, all of the times. We got the gaming, we got the anime, we got the wrestling, we got it all. You should just go check it out. Leave an iTunes review so we get out there more. Good God, please leave an iTunes review.
Please. I did it. You guys can do it too. It takes more than 2 seconds to set up an iTunes account, but you can still do it. It's free. But yeah, welcome back. And I know, Colin, we did a post show for Backlash you weren't on, and I know the less said about Sunday's event, the better. But it's only fair because we talked off air. You got a different perspective on some of this, and then we just shit on this pay-per-view. Well, and much deserved in all of our opinion, by the way. But Colin, what did you think of Backlash? Real quick, 2 cents, gloss over it.
Like I said, everyone, on Twitter after the show was over and all that, it was just crucifying the show. I think one of the, Dave Meltzer boys was like, this is the most hated pay-per-view in 31 years. And I'm just like, well, there's always going to be December to dismember. But I mean, what have you? So... I mean, there was that. As far as the thing go, I'll be honest. I was running a little late. I have yet to actually watch Seth Rollins versus The Miz, which I hear was absolutely insane. So I need to watch that after this is over. As far as the rest of the matches go, I didn't hate them. I personally did not mind the matches themselves. Some of the story, some of the booking was a bit weird. But I mean, as far as the matches goes, real quick, like Nia Jax versus Bliss was, I feel like much like their Mania match, it was a lot better than most people probably thought it was going to be. And Nia Jax retained. I like Nia Jax. Sorry, Travis. Jeff Hardy beat Orton. I feel like a lot of people thought Orton was going to win just because he's Randy Orton. So I'm happy Jeff Hardy retained. I'm liking the Jeff Hardy's getting, that single title run at this age. He hasn't skipped a beat from, coming back from injury, has no ring rust whatsoever.
Go on.
He's still he's moving just as good. as before he went out with injury. He's still taking the insane bumps. So I mean, I'm liking it. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass was there. It was seven. It was 7.5 minutes of all right. What's gonna happen? And then Daniel Bryan tapped down Big Cass. And
7 minutes 47 seconds to be exact.
Oh, good. That was, yeah, it was there. Carmella beat Charlotte clean for the most part. I thought that was, I liked it. I don't hate it as much as everyone else does.
You mean you don't
because
hate the 10-minute headlock that she did?
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, everyone immediately cling to the whole, oh, Charlotte beat Asuka's streak, but now Carmella's beating Charlotte. Yeah, it's fucking how wrestling works. If we took into account who everyone else has beaten before, and then they get beat by someone else, everyone would bitch about every single match ever. So I mean, you got to do it sometimes. I'm sorry, you just have to.
Just give me some continuity. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
It didn't have to happen a month later.
I mean, it didn't, but at the same time, one of Charlotte's titties exploded, so she has to leave for a bit. It happens.
Fourth woman this year in WWE.
AJ Styles versus.
Is it really 4 already?
Yeah, it was both.
I mean,
Peyton
it's
Royce,
like 4 that
Billy Kay.
Kay, Royce, and Alexa Bliss all had, implants. One of Charlotte's implants ruptured. So, I mean, but essentially, yeah, 4 women that have had boob surgery.
Stop it. It's disgusting.
That's why people tune in for the stats.
Styles versus Nakamura. This was arguably the best match of the 3 they've had so far, but I'm going to be honest. Every single match is underperformed to what I think they can do.
Yeah.
I don't think it's over just yet. I'm sure JD had a lot to say about this.
Sure did.
I hope there's a 4th match. I hope they actually let them do what they can do, because this I know. They've done a great job of somehow messing up a Styles versus Nakamura feud.
Dude, it's
I don't get it.
It's a borderline foreign gay promo at this point.
And we'll get to it on SmackDown later, but you said it was a good match. I didn't think the match was bad at all, but it goes to show how good the match was when the still frame highlight packages they'll show 2 days later on SmackDown. They did this week. It was literally every picture was a nut shot. Every one. There was nothing else. That sums it up.
I will say that I don't like all the all the dick kicking that much, but I mean I do if it's one, but then they kind of did it one too many times in this match. I thought the finish was stupid, but I did like the double dick kick. I feel like if that was just a spot and not how the match ended, it would have been better, but oh well. The tag team match was...
I wonder how 10-year-old JD would have felt about that. I'm very curious about myself.
The tag team match between Strowman and Lashley and everyone's insane. It was also there. It was a match. I'm pretty sure that I think Lashley pinned Owens, but I'm pretty sure Strowman and Zayn were the legal men, but I think it was just a botch that no one cares about, so it won't matter.
You are correct.
And yeah. And then there was Reigns and Samoa Joe, the 18-minute match where 15 minutes of it was Samoa Joe had chin-locking Roman Reigns and just smiling at the boring fans.
Now this one, everyone's iffy on the Carmella headlock, but this one, just the placement of the structure of this match was ridiculous. Especially, there's no way nobody backstage couldn't realize that this show was being a wet fart. Ever since Rollins and Miz, the show was downhill. They didn't notice that. So who designed this to tell these guys to go out there and do rest holds as the main event? When one of the guys is nobody wants to see that guy in the first place. I didn't get it. I didn't. Especially Samoa fucking Joe. Samoa Joe, and you're telling him to go out there and work like Vern Gagne in your main event of a shit show. Unbelievable. Don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I don't think the match itself was completely awful, but but I mean, it definitely was not nearly as good as it should have been, especially given how I know Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe can put on like an insane main event caliber match, and this was a house show match. This was the kind of match you'd see on a house show.
Not even. I feel like this would have been thrown on Tribute to the Troops. Because who the fuck watches Tribute to the Troops? Just like, eh. You know
The
what I mean?
Troops
Like,
do.
not even a house show
Fuck 'em.
match. Because I've gone to WWE house shows in the last couple of years.
Fuck
They're
'em
pretty damn
like.
good. But yeah, I mean, what do you grade it?
My favorite part of this match was when Roman Reigns ended. They immediately cut to the audience, and all of them were like they were running away.
Yeah.
They were grabbing their shit and just leaving.
Okay, so there was a total of 4 specific chants you can clearly hear during the Roman Reigns Samoa Joe match. One was "This is
I heard
boring."
Rusev.
CM Punk.
I heard boring.
CM Punk was
Rusev
classic.
Day, CM Punk.
And my favorite, which I've never heard before, "Beat the Traffic."
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch that the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
See,
heard a
my-
"Beat
I
the
like
Traffic" chant in wrestling before.
You remember in the
Somewhere at
movie
home,
Ready?
some
It reminded me in the movie Ready to Rumble with Jimmy King, giving Diamond Dallas Page a headlock. It's like, traffic, baby, little traffic. God, but what do you grade Backlash overall in your opinion, Colin?
someone at home who named their dick Traffic was probably very happy. They're like, if you say so. No, okay.
No.
I'll take the pity chuckle. As far as the show
I'm not
goes,
selling that.
Having not seen Rollins and The Miz, I'll give it like a C plus.
Ooh, I'm so happy you like wrestling.
I do, I really do.
That's my response to that.
We didn't even bring up your favorite part with the Elias segment with Bobby Roode doing the conga line.
No, that entire segment. The best part about it was my girlfriend and my friend Tommy, who both don't watch wrestling, were over at my house during this show, and this segment came on, and both of them just had the most bewildered, baffled look on their face. Everything that was happening made sense to me because I knew why everyone was out there. I knew what was happening, kinda, but they just looked at me, and I'm like, I don't have an explanation as to what's happening. You just kind of have to enjoy it.
You know why, Kuzon?
Why?
Because that's entertainment, pal. My God. I hope I never see Bobby Roode dancing again in my life, and I hope I never have to watch anything from Backlash again in my life besides Rollins.
I wish.
I love
Bobby
when
Roode's got a
Roode
sick
twerked
twerk going on.
I wish
love
I
it
was
when
a
he twerked on
fly.
Rusev, and Rusev just looked disgusted.
I wish I was a fly on the wall when like that moment you had with them, Colin. Because goddamn, there must have been some tension in that room at that time. Jesus Christ.
You want me to what?
Oh man, no.
God. Well, without
Oh,
further ado,
no.
WWE obviously tried to bounce back, I guess, the next night of Monday Night Raw with Raw. And it started off with Kurt Angle coming out, Braun Strowman interrupting. We're already into Money in the Bank. I will say this, I'm glad it is 5 weeks, because let's catch our breath at least. But it's pretty sad when 5 weeks seems like 6 months, as much consistently these pay-per-views are close together and stuff. You know what I mean? Pretty sad. But Money in the Bank is obviously next up, and Kevin Owens came out, cut his typical Kevin Owens promo here. Nothing really. Anything stand out to you guys in this?
Gotta be honest, I didn't catch like the first 10 minutes of Raw. I watched everything. Like after I caught Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens. I just didn't see the opening segment as to why it was happening.
Basically, Braun Strowman came out demanded to be in it, and Kurt was like, "You're right, you are in it because you're Braun," basically. And then Kevin Owens was like, "I deserve to be in it." So Kurt made the match then and there for the first qualifier. And take a wild guess who won and how? Braun Strowman won clean, decisively. Thoughts on this match?
It was actually a pretty decent match as far like I don't think I don't think most people would look at Strowman and Owens and think they could put on a good match, but they actually put on a pretty solid match. I could watch Strowman check Owens into the barricade for hours.
It's like drills at the PC. Probably have guys doing that. I don't know. I still feel like Kevin Owens is going a face route. I really do, from the way that Sammy's cutting the promos on him now. I don't know why. I just got that feeling.
I'm not into that at all. Like Owens came in as a babyface. Well, not really in NXT, but like
He did in one match.
Yeah, in one match, and then immediately turned heel. Like he works best as a heel. Come on.
But how?
I feel like we haven't.
There's no way you
seen
can see
a
an
babyface
every
Kevin
man
Owens,
shit
though.
kicker. There's no way you could see an every working man type shit kicker angle with Kevin Owens. Family man, a tweener type, a badass. I could see that working because he still gets like that male vocal pop still, like the yeah. Because there's always going to be that demographic that gets behind Kevin Owens.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, JD?
Oh, I'm back. What are you guys talking about? I just returned.
Oh, just the possibility of a babyface Kevin Owens is like that working man, tweener, family man who just shit kicker, badass. Because I feel like the way that Sami Zayn's been cutting promos in these clips backstage with Kevin Owens, it feels like they're going to turn Kevin Owens face. And the sympathy he's getting in these matches from Braun too, I feel like.
I mean, it's a good prospect. The issue is there's just not a lot of heels in WWE right now. And the other issue is I mean, it's fine. They put on good matches, but this is just going to lead to more Sami Zayn v. Owens. And right now, that tandem's working just fine. I like them. I think Raw needs the both of them, not individually.
It's not WXW though, so he doesn't like it that much.
Oh.
Shots fired. I'm not selling anything so far, Colin. I'm like Stan Hansen today with your jokes.
I've had an off week. I'm sorry.
I like the pair together
bounce back,
too, but
promise.
let's be honest. We know WWE. God forbid we keep a team together. The guys that shouldn't be together, like Ziggler and McIntyre, they're going to keep together. It's a good fucking figure.
Oh my god. Just fucking immediately killed him. Like, no, it hasn't killed him.
They haven't,
like,
though. They really haven't, though.
Like, it's...
We'll get to it when we get to the match later on Raw.
The problem is right now, and as we saw on Raw, with Ziggler and McIntyre just in a regular match against Rhino and Slater. I mean, first of all, I gotta admire the 3MB chants going on in the background. I even saw that in the YouTube highlights. I heard that.
I popped for it.
No.
I thought that was kind of funny.
No.
But the audience is already just not into him. And
Yeah.
there's no story being built. I mean, how hard is it for there to be the Deleter Worlds or another tag team match going on and McIntyre and Ziggler just come out and kick the shit out of them?
I think eventually they'll probably do that in the next couple weeks. There is some intrigue to see where it's going to lead to, I guess. It's more for McIntyre especially than Ziggler for me because, I mean, quite frankly, Ziggler's kind of just there right now for me. He's adding to McIntyre, I feel like, but I see in the company's eyes they have way more invested in McIntyre than probably Ziggler.
I don't get it. It shouldn't be this hard just to say these guys are going to be ass kickers. McIntyre cut a great promo on saying the guys are complacent, which is true. He spoke from the heart. You believed what he said. And they're just pussyfooting around with it. It shouldn't be this hard. But right now, in the current state of 2018 WWE, it's just, here's Raw, here's SmackDown, here's a match, here's a match, here's a match, here's a match. And if it doesn't involve Roman Reigns, there's not going to be any commitment to any story going on.
It's just, and not to rip off your gimmick, Colin, it's just uber corporate times in the company right now. It is strictly business. You let the Saudi show, everything going on right now. They're making money. They're just going. They don't care if their shit's good. It feels like, and it comes off like that. Like they're making money. They don't care if the product's good or not, as long as they're making money. That's exactly what Backlash felt like to me. Oh, Saudi was a success. Fuck this show. It can take a piss. I feel like that's where we're at, and that's
Travis, you're absolutely right. I totally agree. It's exactly what I'm making money business models is going for. Because as long as you're making money, why would you change the product that's going in front of you?
It's profit. If it's profitable, then like there's no reason to change it.
Yeah,
end of the
take Microsoft and Nintendo right now. We may not agree with some of the moves they're making, but as long as they're making money, who are we to argue?
Yeah.
But as fans of any such medium, we can definitely criticize and be pissed off about it.
As the consumer, it is a right, in my opinion.
Yes.
It is your right.
I think so as well.
And people are like, well, just, don't watch it. No, it's my right to fucking watch it.
Because you're paying for it. At the end of the day, like you're paying for a product.
Exactly.
That's what a lot of people don't like click. You're paying for a product at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I feel like as much as American fans bitch and complain about how it should be, WWE is looking global, thinking global now more than they ever have. They're looking to tap into every global market they can.
Oh,
And the
it's
thing
such a
is, when they go
scary
to these global
prospect, too.
markets, these fans aren't as bitter as us because they don't know any better in a lot of these markets.
It's such a scary prospect because watching a lot of the indie scene that I do, and like just take Progress Wrestling, huge following now in the UK. Jimmy Havoc, just a he carried that company for God knows how long. Just an old hardcore type guy.
609 days to be exact. He was the Progress World Champion.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's you got that stat on hand, don't you?
I was doing some research for Progress the other day. I just remember the number.
Oh, excellent. So WWE notices that not just Progress, but Defiant, Insane Championship Wrestling, among others, just massively rising in the UK, hardcore market, just itching for just more wrestling, and WWE goes, "Oh, it's just like what happened in decades past. Oh, look at this market rising up. Let's throw the UK. Let's make this UK division have one showing over there. One, buy up all the young talent, which we saw, and for about 6 months, it was a good devastation to that market in general. Luckily enough, at least from my perspective, WWE has essentially just ignored the market yet again, and now we're back to where it was, where now the UK scene's rising again.
And you know what?
So
I'll give the Devils doing that. I don't know if it's ignoring the market as much as when I say they're expanding to these markets, I'm not talking about UK, Germany that have thriving wrestling. I'm talking about like a Bangladesh or fucking, Zimbabwe somewhere where they're like a Saudi. Saudi doesn't have anything like a UK. And I think WWE is smart enough to realize that fans are as aware as American fans on like the happenings and bitter about the booking and will take a piss on the product even more so than American fans, especially in the. And I think that's why they pulled back a little bit and are like, well, we'll still go there, but we want to tap into these markets, these fucking markets that don't know any better. You know what I mean? We'll give them they're doing that. They're smart enough to know where their bread's buttered more, I feel like. But that's business too.
Just as the UK scene has come back to what it was before the UK title was made in that tournament, that they're now talking about having a UK pay-per-view.
Exactly.
And another tournament. It is not a coincidence. They want to
bury
the market as much as they can. Stop it before it gets hot again. Basically,
they're going to the cherry tree again to pick.
Yeah, like UK fans, and I think I can say for like even like just European fans in general, like we used to be starved of like wrestling content. Like we were really, really starved. Like
World of Sport, and that was it, right?
It wasn't even that. It was just like World of Sport was a thing of like decades ago. But like in general, like when WWE or like even WWF came to the UK, Capital Carnage, for example, it was a big deal. Like wrestling fans are starved in the UK and like in Europe. So like when we had the live shows and we have like the UK tour at the moment, which is going on still, like that is like the only time it's like you better get in your tickets while you can. This is the one time this year, because you can only do it yearly if you even want to get a scratch of wrestling live. Any other time you're not going to get anything. You better wait. It's like you're being privileged to like pay, so you will pay as a UK wrestling fan. You will pay anything to get tickets, no matter how ridiculous the tickets are.
And that's always been the same underlying thing when in cheap plug time. Union Smack's coming back tomorrow. We review old UK retro WWF pay-per-views. That's always been one thing in every show we reviewed. We've reviewed that show, Capital Carnage 98, SummerSlam 92. The crowds were always apeshit. We're reviewing one now from Sheffield in 92. The crowd, Tatanka was treated like Moses. It was insane. People were so happy to have wrestling anytime back then. You're completely right, and it shows when you go back and watch the old pay-per-views. It totally does. We're getting way off topic of Raw, but I'm loving it. It's good conversation. I was going to say about Raw, I don't want to go over every single thing. We can cherry pick ourselves, guys. The parts we're talking about, though. We don't have to go in order. I mean, whatever. What do you guys want to talk about next that happened this week? We had
You don't want to talk about the sweet new team of Baron Corbin and the Revival.
The Purple Tights revival, by the way. I'm sure you appreciate it.
And then the lime green on No Way Jose. I was a fan. I liked it.
I was too.
Jeez.
With the little Matador frills.
That's all
on
that matters.
Yeah. Go ahead, go for it. The Nothing 6-man.
I
love how that's what you cherry picked, by the way.
It's Baron Corbin in the Revival. Did you expect me not to bring it up?
His boys.
Exactly. And later, Jinder the Hero, but we'll get there.
Exactly. It was a 6-man, man. It was there. I have no idea why, if I'm being honest, but it was there.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley talk about how he grew up with 3 older sisters. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Like, Bobby Lashley is, like, dragging his arse cheeks across the pavement at the moment.
Hey, it's not Lashley's fault. I just
it's not his fault. I'm just saying.
Does he have worms? Is that why he's doing it?
He's got worms.
God.
I don't know what WWE is doing with Lashley. They give him a delayed suplex as his finisher. They got him dressed like a. As racist as it sounds.
Just do it. Just do it.
Oh my God! They're making him dress like he's from the 20s, opening a car for Vince McMahon. That's about as nice as I could put it. I don't know what's. It's not. No, not the headband. In the interview, he looked like
he looked like Sam.
Yeah, the sit down interview with the hat and the way he's looking, and then the camera and his smiling. It's just like, yes, sir. May I have another?
And look, 07, 08, Bobby Lashley was awful. Okay, it was terrible every time he spoke. But I'll give him credit. When he was a heel in Impact, it wasn't that bad. We saw glimpses of he was all right. He didn't set my world on fire, but he was better than this.
Even when he was a face in Impact. Look, a week before... No, not even a week. 4 days before he debuted in WWE, he just kicked Brian Cage in the crotch twice because Brian Cage beat him. Why can't WWE just go, hey, look, that's a badass dude. He's big as shit. Let's fucking get him kicking the shit out of people on Raw.
As petty as it is.
Let's have him with a sit-down interview talking about his family, kids. Yeah, fair enough. He's got kids. Slater's got kids too, I guess.
Dare I say, as petty as it is, what a shock. It might still be the heat from back in the day with his wife, Crystal, when he left and all that stuff. I could totally see Vince being that petty and booking him like shit when he comes back. He did it with Christian. He did it with so many guys and went to TNA. They didn't do it with Kurt, but Kurt's not a full-time active competitor. He's just doing the easy GM role. It could be that.
Did anyone else notice that his eyebrows were painted on? Anyone else? Was it just me?
I thought about it.
Don't get me started with the makeup artists in WWE. I don't know what's happening these days.
Somebody please help Renee Young, by the way. My God.
Oh, no. No wonder.
It's not just her. It's everybody.
Yeah.
God,
Paige, Jesus Christ.
No, Paige is the worst because her face is always 10 times darker than the rest of her neck and chest.
No, that's a lipstick. It's gross.
To be fair, the guys and gals on the roster are traveling like Metallica in 91 right now. They're all over the goddamn. And they're going right back to Europe here, right? I saw.
Yeah.
Charlotte likes tweeting out her schedule, and the European schedule alone for 10 days, it's a different city, and every 2 days it's a different country.
Fuck.
Unreal.
Yeah. And I just went, no wonder her tits exploded. My tits are exploding looking at that schedule.
My head's exploding
Poor
thinking.
Woman. Oh my God. And she's being booked every night.
And if you're a talent backstage, this is what I picture going to Vince, like, just say you're any guy on the roster, I don't care if you're a top guy, Zack Ryder, who be, and you're like, man, this schedule, do you mind if I just see my family? He's like, we're called World for a reason, pal. You know that's his standard excuse with that. God.
bring the kids along, throw them in the ring and all.
And you know, all the old veterans were like, well, we didn't have it easy. Why should you? So they don't give a fuck.
Oh, fuck off. You all went out
Hey.
drinking at night.
They're also
Hey.
working a Vern Gagne style for the most part back then. It's a little bit different.
Just make all their kids tag team champions with Braun. Just bring them on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
also even though the schedule back in the day was as traveled, but yeah, Travis, you're right. The style and the way the guys were booked, they weren't expected to do suicide dives 4 times a night. They were doing rest holds that actually looked like they hurt. First of all,
it was a complete 180.
and
Complete 180.
and-
Sans like the Dynamite Kid and the Bulldogs and the Hearts, who not as fast paced as today, but for back then, yeah, that work rate was brutal. You know, certain guys.
But also the matches they were booked in. I was watching old Superstars because I don't know. I guess I missed days past because nostalgia. But yeah, a lot of those matches were 4-minute squash matches against up and coming talent. It was just the veteran against the rookie. The rookie got. It was almost like how the young lions are booked in Japan. That's all it was back then. So they'd come out to work, squash a guy for 3 minutes, and then go out and drink for the night. Very much different than how they gotta do like be Seth Rollins every night, different city, different country.
Is that why Seth Rollins was against Mojo Rawley this week? Like fucking Jesus Christ!
Let's go there.
Hey, Mojo Rawley looks good.
Is anyone else sick?
He should like. I don't give a shit. He should be doing a lot better with Seth Rollins. Like he did not pull his weight at all.
Is anyone else getting sick of?
Furious.
I have a mid card title now, so now it's time to make an open challenge. Is anyone else getting sick of this lazy fucking go-to booking?
I'm really not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Seth Rollins versus Mojo Rawley is not exactly my wet dream. But I mean, as far as the open challenge gimmick goes, I mean, Lesnar ain't showing up to work to defend the title anytime soon. So what's wrong with Seth Rollins going out there and putting on? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, this match wasn't, blow the roof off amazing by any means. But I mean, it was arguably probably Mojo Rawley's best match on Raw or SmackDown. So I mean, Cena, when he was doing it with the U.S. title, put on outstanding matches each week. So I mean, as long as the wrestling is good, I don't necessarily mind it.
Because I feel like it takes away so much more from the mid-card, and this is why I always advocate for a rankings-type system. If you're just having your champion go out there and be like, open challenge time, then every other mid-card match is meaningless in a way, because it's like, I can only get a shot if I go out there at that second. So it's like, with a ranking system, every match means something then. You know what I mean? I'm old school, I guess. And I don't...
Yeah, how's that?
Let me clarify, I don't hate...
SmackDown going.
I don't hate open challenges. I just feel like they're overdoing it. Is the thing. That's where
I think the shtick is gonna get old pretty quick because I think the audience knows that Rollins isn't gonna lose the match. I think it's treating it more or less house show esque, and it just shouldn't be that for Monday Night Raw. I mean, hey, this is kind of what I wanted to happen with Rollins. Showcase the title. Be the main guy. Be the guy on Raw. It is what I wanted. Travis, you and I spoke about it on the Red Leaf WrestleCast.
That's true.
Most recent episode. This is more or less what we wanted as fans. But yeah, it's a little bit lazy booking for sure. I mean, they've done this how many times before? You can't have a guy. You can't have Mojo Rawley. Let's hypothetically backtrack here. Let's say Rollins goes, okay, open challenge, but you still gotta earn your place. Just a simple twist of line. Mojo Rawley comes out, and I don't know, throw Zack Ryder out there too. They have some past, and then Rollins goes, okay, how about this? You two fight each other, and I'll face the winner. Just something simple like that. I'll face him next week. That'll at least get us a little hype for the match next week.
Hopefully, it's not Mojo again next week, Colin.
No, it'd be Zack Ryder next week.
They were in Long Island, and they gave Zack Ryder a 2-minute backstage thing with Kurt Angle, and they gave Mojo Rawley the match, which I thought was confusing. But I'm not Vince; I don't understand.
And they let him wear his Maryland tights, and they were in Baltimore the next night for SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't.
I just don't. The issue with this is so we know Rollins is going to be doing this for a little while. Money in the Bank's coming up. I do like the line where he goes, "I'm the IC champion. I'm not focused on Money in the Bank. I already have my title." Fair enough. Great. I like that. I actually prefer that. That was a good line. Rollins is my number one guy in WWE right now, and it's not even close. For Money in the Bank, their big pay-per-view coming up, my fear, much like what is going on with the state of WWE this year alone, is more than likely the go-home show before Money in the Bank, or 2 weeks maximum, they'll go, okay, this is your next challenger.
Yeah.
And that's all it's going to be. And it won't shock me if who was it? If it will be Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens that'll just come out, and that'll be that. It'll probably be Kevin Owens. Or a triple threat match. It'll just be something phoned in. Here's your match for Money in the Bank. And I can't stand that.
Bobby
It's
Roode,
so lazy.
maybe. One of those guys.
Mm.
Yeah, I will say this. The match wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, it's Seth Rollins. Yeah, it's not like the Mojo didn't like stumble over his 2 feet like usual. I mean, he kept up in this. He sold the curb stomp well, I thought, Kuzan.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy that, but like the
It's
reason
not the curb stomp. It's the stomp. The
Stomp.
knee.
Yeah, just call it the blackout. Just call it the blackout. It's fine. There's no problem with that.
No. Stop.
I do want to get. When we get to SmackDown, I do want to talk about how the commentary is just getting more and more lazy with how they're calling matches.
But like the problem I had with it was like it's not the fact that it's Mojo Rawley. It's the fact of like Mojo Rawley isn't putting in the extra like anything because like it's because like Mojo comes across to me as an American footballer who's just in a wrestling business using footballer moves to win matches. It doesn't mix.
That's his gimmick. I get that. He's just so cringe to me. It's just biased, I guess.
Yeah, like, you know.
I miss the Hype Brothers theme song.
I miss a football gimmick where it was a guy like Dr. Death Steve Williams who could beat the shit out of you and was actually intimidating looking and not just this meathead douchebag that I gotta look at who I just could give 2 shits about as a babyface or a heel.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sorry, guys. I gotta interrupt, but this is like stupid, crazy news.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Ultimate Warrior video?
No, but Wayne Rooney is apparently signed with DC United in the MLS.
Yo, whom?
Wayne Rooney.
No, I know who Wayne Rooney. But who's he signed up with?
DC United. It's an MLS team. Major League
Soccer cues on, or football, as you would call it. It's American soccer.
Wow. All right. I'm sorry. That just wow. Okay.
I mean, we can do a soccer podcast. We can start one.
No. It's.
Yeah, I'm gonna start playing FIFA 18 for a life.
Mega Man
Christ.
Soccer sucked. I was disappointed in that game.
Oh man.
Where the hell are we at now, JD? Jesus Christ! We bring you on and you bring up soccer.
All right.
Finn beat Roman.
No. Wait, before we get to the main event, I think we should talk about what the hell is going on with Banks and Bayley.
That's something I want to talk about too, because I was really surprised with that. Was besides, well, actually, that was my match of the night on Raw. Because I'm thinking of Hardy and Miz on SmackDown. The women's 3-way was tremendous on this. I don't know if you guys were a fan of this qualifying match with Ruby Riott, Sasha Banks. Was it Bayley the third?
Ember Moon.
No.
Ember Moon. That's right.
Ember
Because she
Moon.
won. Duh. Yeah, great fucking match.
The one who won the match.
Yeah, sorry. What did you think of this match, Colin?
I thought this match was great. I at first I was like, because if you'll notice, the fans got distracted. They were like looking behind them and chanting something, and I just thought it was some douchebag with the beach ball. Apparently, someone got engaged during this match, and I'm just like, very interesting time to do it, but Mazel Tov, whatever. But I mean, as far as the match goes, I thought this match
huge Ruby Riott fans, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna get engaged during any match, this is the one to do it. But no, I loved it. I love Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, and Ruby Riott. I really love Ember Moon and Ruby Riott. Sasha Banks just kind of going through the motions at this point. But I mean, personally, I would have liked it if Ruby won. But I mean, I'm not disappointed with Ember Moon winning. I love Ember Moon. If she doesn't eclipse somebody from the top of a ladder, it was a waste. I mean,
that's gonna hurt.
That's really gonna hurt. I can see that only going poorly.
Yeah, no, that would hurt Ember Moon's ass more than anything.
Like, your coccyx is gonna burst into a million pieces.
Probably. But
Live
I mean,
on pay-per-view.
I like the match, but a few things confused me.
Such
Ruby
as
Riott has like 3 straight Raw wins, including the pre-show win against Bayley.
Well, I mean, it was
Backlash, and then she gets pinned in this match. So,
But it was 3-way.
Okay.
There was shenanigans a little bit. I mean, it was 3-way. It wasn't a 1-on-1, so it didn't hurt her as much as 1-on-1. But I see what you're saying. But
I get it, but you'd think Banks would have been the one to take the. Wait, did she take the pin? No.
No, it was Ruby.
Yeah, you think
No,
Banks
Ruby Riott.
should have been the? Was it? Yeah, Ruby Riott got got pinned. You think after building some momentum, the 3-way, Banks has nothing going for her except the confusion feud with Bayley, with all the interference. Bayley running out for some reason. I don't know why. Again.
Yeah,
it's almost like
I've thrown my hands in the air with this angle at this point. Whatever. I'm done.
I'm so confused. I'm great. I've seen 2-3 straight matches of Bayley actually wrestling.
They were getting me too. They were turning me around when Sasha did the raise my hand heel shit. I was like, all right, here we go. It's 2015 all over again. Now I'm done. It makes no sense. They've squandered.
Jesus Christ.
I
feel like I'm watching 2 teenagers fight over a boyfriend. That's what it feels like to me.
Don't let them change you. Be a star.
Hey, real quick, I was not doing my job very well, but shout out to Matt Tennant, Stoned Mexican Guy, Tater Snake, all in the chat, having a ball.
Hey man, thank you guys for stopping by so much. You're slacking, Colin. Look at you.
I am. I'm sorry. And the Social Injustice Warrior.
Oh, V Infuso, what's going on, man? Welcome.
Infuso, my dude.
He says at Hibiki TMD, tell Kuzan to show me his tits.
Show. Get him out.
Probably my favorite thing that's ever been in the chat. Real quick though, I would be remiss, and this is for Tater because we had ourselves a beef on Twitter over it, and I'm gonna bring it up because I'm gonna bring.
Are you gonna talk about the match?
No, I'm gonna talk about Jinder Mahal beating Chad Gable. Suck it, Tater.
We'll get there in a second. I do want to say real quick, I think I agree with you, JD. It should have been Sasha to eat the pin in this. And I know it's a nuance and it's nitpicky, but she does have the credibility with all the title reigns. She is the most mainstream established out of all. And she's in a nothing fucking limbo area right now, so it doesn't matter for her. I agree.
I think, okay. If I was to book it, because I'm a master booker. Let's face it. I've been hired by wrestling promotions before. No, I haven't.
Really?
There was all the Riot Squad interference. Why would it have been so difficult for Bayley to run out, maybe mess up, accidentally hit Banks, and then go into the Eclipse and Banks eats the pin? Wouldn't that just add fuel to that fire? Make it more clear to us that they want to do something? Like, it just seemed just something so simple that could have been fiddled with to make the match have that continuity that we needed. But it just seemed like they were going through the motions. It's Money in the Bank because we saw. God, I can't even. I lost count how many times I heard that just in a YouTube highlight.
Yeah, we're in a period where they're not shiny and new right now either, and this is what happens when every year after Raw you feel the need to call up great NXT workers for no reason other than it's the Raw after Mania. Ember Moon shouldn't have been just shoehorned in like Nia was like, here's my partner, and then out comes Ember Moon. No, it should have been something, vignettes. They're doing that with Sanity, and I'm enjoying that on SmackDown, but it's like, you're right. And there's no reason anything should have progressed in this, and it's like, does WWE even care at this point about the storyline, and why should we if they don't?
I don't like how the Raw after Mania has become the Raw after Mania. It used to be just an unspoken rule that it's the Raw after Mania. It's going to be great. There'll be a call up or two, but now it's they market it as, the Raw after Mania. They know that there's gonna be the call ups and all that. I don't like how it's becoming that. I mean, the show itself is always, usually really good, and you get the cheap pop with the call ups, but
I know it's lame, sounding kind of cliche, but it goes back to that story with Jim Cornette told about when Chris Candido would call him up on the phone and tell him to come in for ECW appearances for surprises. And Jim Cornette's like, why do you need me to come in? And Candido's like, well, every month we have a surprise. We need a surprise. And Jim Cornette's like, well, if they know it's a surprise, it ain't a surprise. It's that simple. If you know there's going to be call-ups, it takes a hell of a lot of sizzle and pizzazz off of it every year. If you expect
just jumping for a comment on SmackDown, we haven't seen Sanity, nor have we seen Almas yet. All we're getting are video packages. I mean, it's okay.
He's debuting next week.
Well, yeah, they're both going to debut next week, and
it's
going to be phoned. It's just going to be phoned in squash matches for the two of them.
Sin Cara and Almas and Sanity and somebody.
Who's the tag team that can just get the shit kicked out of them? Because that's what's going to happen.
Do they have a jobber tag team on SmackDown?
The Bar.
It's not the Bar.
Did you see their new T-shirts? They're a jobber fucking tag team. The Bar.
It'll probably be like Dillinger slapped together with someone else, and they'll just get.
No, the Bar's actually too busy being stereotype, eating Lucky fucking Charms, but we'll get there. Jesus Christ. But the women's match was great, though. I would say, if anything, go out of your way to watch that match. That was probably my match of the night for Raw, guys.
I would agree. Just a couple things that just didn't make sense, but who am I other than a wrestling fan?
Be a star.
Very true.
Be a star.
Yeah, let's go right into
that's my new phrase. Anytime I have something bad to say about WWE, I just got to remind myself to be a star.
I know, Colin, it's time for you to bow your chest out and gloat to the cows come home. Chad Gable, Jinder Mahal. What'd you think? The match wasn't as good as their first one. I enjoyed the first one better, not just because of the finish. I just thought it was worked better. But this one, Jinder gets the Duke. I wasn't surprised at all that Jinder was getting the win in this, honestly, which made me sad because I do want Gable to get some W's. But what did you think, Colin?
Right. I mean, I think this was kind of due to what happens later in the show, which we'll get to it, which I'm sure everyone is thrilled about. But I think this match was just kind of it's just sort of like a one-off thing. They just wanted Mahal to get the win before he was doing the other thing. Mahal and Chad Gable surprisingly work very well together because I mean they're obviously not that 7-star classics that Meltzer's throwing out, but they haven't been bad matches between the two on Raw. And I mean it's their standard just Raw mid-card match, but they were pretty decent. And I mean Mahal got the win. I could hear Tater Snake crying over Twitter. It was my favorite part of the show because me and Tater were just going back and forth at it. Then Mahal won, and so I just sent him a tweet full of the smirk emoji just saying, suck it. So I was happy.
Chad Gable always works great with bigger guys. We saw that with Rusev last year. There's great matches they had. I think it was obviously more Gable than this. I think Chad Gable's going to be fine. I still think just that Olympian resume, in 2012 and stuff, he was on NBC when it aired. I just think that's always going to be his padding. They love that they can, like with an Xavier Woods thing even. He has the PhD. They love guys with resumes like that, and I think they'll be fine.
Right.
Well, they'll be fine, getting their paycheck. But
Xavier Woods being part of the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. I don't know. Did that happen?
I guarantee you, Xavier Woods. I guarantee you, in Xavier Woods' mind, he's a video gamer on YouTube who wrestles on the side.
Yeah, look, they're both extremely capable wrestlers. We know how good they are. I'm irritated that because even when the New Day were the tag champs for the longest ever, Xavier Woods just felt like a third wheel. He was the mic all the time. He felt like a manager more than the wrestler.
Yeah.
But I think he's the better wrestler out of the three.
Consequences Creed was fucking excellent in TNA in the X division. He can work. He can work his ass off.
Exactly. So Xavier Woods on SmackDown, Chad Gable on Raw. if they were taller, they would be top of the card guys. But because Chad Gable's what, 5'7", 5'8"?
No,
Chad Gable screams Bret Hart in the early days to me, of how just because he's not a McMahon dude in this moment is why he's being held back.
I just
If he
think
was
they're not
6'3",
rushing
I
it with
guarantee he'd be
Gable.
top. He'd be top talent.
I think they're just not rushing it right now. I think they're taking their time with Gable. I think they want to show that he's not invincible because we've seen when you book a guy like he's invincible, the fans are going to throw dog shit at you with Roman. But at least we can rest assured, Kuzan, they're not going to do anything with Gable that they did with Jordan, the storyline wise. Hopefully.
I hope you're right, but I'm seeing so many similarities right now just from treatment.
Hot take. Jason Jordan is going to come back. They're going to do their, we were former tag team partners. I hate you for some reason. They're going to duke it out, and it's going to be revealed that Chad Gable is actually Kurt Angle's son, not Jason Jordan.
God.
I'm calling it now.
Ugh. Or we could
I don't doubt that the rivalry is going to happen just because they used to be a tag team, and they don't know what else to do.
They're gonna have like a custody over Kurt Angle like gimmick with the ladders. Big Guerrero's gonna come in late and everything. It's gonna be amazing.
On a pole match.
Yeah.
You know what? Screw it. Just give me that. Give me some sort of story. I'm starving for any sort of story at this point. I don't care how stupid it is anymore.
Where the fuck was Vicky?
Kuzan, speaking of ladders, and I know you wanted to talk about it earlier, but it is now time. Your perfect waist, half of the perfect waist club, in the triple threat qualifying match. Main event of roll time. Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns. What'd you think, man?
It was really good, actually. Not that I'm surprised by Finn, but with it being a triple threat, I thought it was going to be like a clusterfuck, but it was actually really good. Because they had the walk and brawl, that was really annoying, and it went on for really way too long. But apart from that, it was aight.
I hated the coup de grace in the crowd because why was Roman up 2 minutes later? That's why I hated every part of that.
Yeah.
I liked the move. I liked the spectacle of it.
Travis, you just need to give him a chance. Come on.
I need to eat sauerkraut like you and just watch good wrestling, I guess, in Germany.
No, you're just not giving Roman a chance. Come on. It's management. Management's problem. Come on.
I'm being a comment instead of a star.
What did Jinder come in? What was that all about?
Because we need somebody that we quote people hate more than Roman Reigns to get Roman Reigns over again. You didn't know that?
No. I mean, there's the actual reason why, and then there's the storyline. The thing that I noticed that I thought was interesting was earlier in the show when Jinder wanted into the match and all that. He wanted into the triple threat and making it a fatal 4-way. He didn't want to just be put in the match. He didn't want a one-on-one match. He wanted to be put in making it a fatal 4-way, which I thought was interesting given, he's a heel and all that. And, they would normally just, wanted to walk right into the match, but he wanted to make it a fatal 4-way, which I thought just
shows where they're at with the simplest fucking things they can't even do right. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it. So I liked how,
No, if he's going to be Jinder the hero, and we say that jokingly, but if that's the route, then that's brilliant. But if this is just a heel to get Roman over more that's going to fucking fail, then that was asinine. That's
what this whole thing is going to be. But I mean, I'm just pointing out that I liked how he wanted to fight for the spot, not just get the spot. But now, him and Roman are going to have some matches, which, I mean, it's either going to work or it's more than likely just going to fail miserably, and it's going to go Brock versus Goldberg level of no one wants it.
Look forward to people becoming Jinder fans like myself.
I'm excited. Everyone's going to be wanting to buy the shirt from my profile picture on Twitter. I'm so excited.
You can get that motherfucker up to like $3,000 on eBay by the time it's over.
Exactly.
Sell
the shirt
now,
because that was a limited run.
It's true. They don't sell the shirt anymore.
Now I have to sport the question. What are the odds that we get Jinder Roman at Money in the Bank in the main event for no reason.
Oh my
Probably
god.
very likely.
I'd
Actually.
bet
They
the
would
farm.
never. Would they?
Yeah, they
Would
would.
they?
Yeah, they
would.
would.
Would
They just
they?
did it with Samoa
They're
Joe.
gonna have like
It
3
was
Money in
Samoa
the Bank
Joe.
matches. There's no way they'd give Roman and Jinder the. I mean, I love Jinder Mahal, you know, but
Are you sure there's
him
no
versus
way?
Roman, I have like a 95%, like positivity rate that I doubt that Roman and Mahal would main event Money in the Bank, where supposedly 3 Money in the Bank matches are happening.
If you want to make JD spit out his drink, tell him that AJ Styles and Nakamura is going to main event Money in the Bank.
Nah, you good. You good, fam.
You good?
I think there's a better chance they'll open the night.
Probably. No, it's going to be a ladder match. They always open it with a ladder match at those.
Oh my god.
Usually.
Gonna be testicles on a pole match.
Oh, Jesus. What did everybody think of the main event and how it ended, and what did everybody think of Raw? And start with Colin.
I was very pleased that Finn Balor won. The second I saw the match, I was like, oh, okay, this is stupid, because I mean, I feel like Finn and Roman should both have been in the Money in the Bank match, if I'm being honest. But Zayn and Owens, personally, I don't think necessarily have to be in there. But in my mind, I'm thinking Balor was the one who probably needed this the most, but Roman's gonna win because they probably just gonna have Roman cash in on Brock, and that's how he wins. And then Mahal came in and fucked over Roman, and then Balor got the win. So I was pleasantly surprised. In my mind, I'm like, man, Seth Rollins retaining that belt, Finn Balor winning in the main event. Kuzan must be exploding with joy.
Yay.
Hashtag perfect waist club.
It's a huge week for you, Kuzan.
It's amazing. But everyone else is like so upset though. Like everyone else is sad. So like the joy, it's no good if you're happy if no one else is happy.
Everybody got what they wanted this week except JD again.
Yeah.
I'll never get what I get. I'm just busy being. I'm just being be a star. I'm just being a star over here.
What did you think of the main event, JD?
It was fine. It was a Raw main event, I suppose. The whole Jinder thing made me just laugh hysterically because I just go, of course, Roman and Jinder. Why not?
Yeah. They just had a match last week on Raw too, right?
Did they? I don't even remember. It's all a hazy blur.
Overall, I give Raw a B this week. It flowed pretty well. It didn't drag. That women's 3-way was an unexpected surprise. I didn't hate the Braun stuff. I didn't hate it with Owens. I just
Owens just signed that 10-year contract, so good for him. Get that money, but now he's just going to be Dolph Ziggler territory.
Get that money. Take your kids to the zoo, Kevin Owens.
Yeah, good
Get
for
that money.
Kevin Owens. Good for KO. Good for Kevin Steen. I like that guy.
Sign up for
He's getting paid.
UWF. There you go. Get that money.
Kuzan, what do you grade Raw this week?
Yeah, about the same, about a B. Like it didn't drag, but like nothing really special happened. It was just average. It just happened. But I don't know how the future. If this happens continuously and it's just fine, then no, because like we need something to happen.
It's still not must-watch TV, so it can only get a C from me. Just average. It's a WWE Raw, isn't it?
Last but not least, our very own Dean Douglas. Colin Dunn, what do you grade it this week?
I'm too young to know if that's a good thing or not.
It's not.
It's probably not.
It's
probably
not.
Yeah, I'll stick with a B. Flowed nice. I didn't mind it. The way I grade Raws is if I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, oh god, there's still another hour, then it wasn't a good show. If it's 7 o'clock and I'm like, oh, that went by pretty fast, then it was a good show. So yeah, it was a good show.
Is it sad? That's the state of wrestling too. We judge how good a show it is by if Raw doesn't drag. Because back in the day, it seemed like Raw was never long enough when it was good. You know. Ugh. That was Raw this week. SmackDown though, guys. And you guys were looking at him on the thumbnail all week. The Miz has literally been on fire. My performer of the week has to be right there with Rollins. Has to be the Miz. I would say it's tie. Those two guys just tearing it up this week. The Miz making Jeff Hardy look the best he's looked since he's came back, in my opinion, at least in singles matches. Having a match to kick off SmackDown qualifying match. They promoted it before with like YouTube clips, interviews, whatever. The first SmackDown qualifier for Money in the Bank. Great match. The finish here we might all be divided on a little bit. I will say this. It is going to be memorable because I've never seen a finish that's Swanton like that. And I mean, you can bitch how the finisher meant nothing, but in a way, like, the Miz sold his stomach so well on the outside, but it's confusing too. Like, this is something a brave-ass, tough-as-nails babyface should be doing, not this rich, sneaky heel type, but I think it's just trying to add some credibility to the inevitable Daniel Bryan feud, so people don't think that Miz will just be a punching bag in that. And quite frankly, with the match with Rollins and Hardy this week, the way Miz has looked strong, if they keep doing this with him, I think that stuff with Bryan will be even better if they keep making Miz credible. This match gets a total recommend for me. Like I said, the best Hardy's looked. He was blown up in this, but thank God he was in there with the Miz and not Orton. The Miz could at least carry his ass so he could catch his breath. And when Hardy did catch his breath quicker than the match with Orton this, it wasn't blown up as much and cut a better pace. Tuzan, what did you think of this match?
It was okay, actually. Like, the Miz continues to impress me as someone who isn't like avid Miz fan. Like, it was actually all right. There was a spot where, like, the Miz ducked out of the way, and like it was on like the apron side, like like Jeff like tucked his head through like the middle ropes. Miz kicked him, and man, that sounded like it hurt. Like, you could just hear it just smack, and it was just like, oh my God, like maybe that was a little too hard, because like there was like welts on Jeff, like his chest. Like, he had a shirt on, but when he took his shirt off, you could see just red marks all over his chest.
Yeah,
like it was awful. But yeah, the finish of the match was fine. There was no problem with it. I can understand like why people would have a problem, because it was like straight after a swanton, then a roll up. But like with the selling at outside the ring, the selling's still there, the credibility's still there to the move. There was nothing wrong with it.
Colin, I know that you've been itching to bring up the Balor gear Jeff Hardy was wearing, so get it out of your system.
Oh God, you're an asshole. No, as far as the match goes, really good. I enjoyed it. I like the ending. I like the idea, like, he hits the swanton, but Miz gets to like that second win. He rolls him up, and he's just like, oh shit, I did it. Okay, I'm gonna go fuck off to the back now and eat a salad and catering or something. I liked it, and as far as the match goes, it was definitely probably my match of the night. At least I would definitely check this match out if you have the chance.
That should be a new Miz t-shirt, by the way. Just fuck off, I'm eating a salad. JD, what did you think of the finish and just the match?
Well, I hated the finish because, well, that's who I am, but I loved the match. I had a lot of fun with the match. I never appreciate a finisher just essentially meaning nothing in the end. He got rolled up right after he hit his finisher. That irks me as bad as a Falcon Arrow getting hit from the top rope, or no, a superplex getting hit by a top rope and immediately being reversed. If you don't sell a move, why was the move even done?
But I think he did sell it right out, and I think the way Jeff Hardy lazily covered him, Miz capitalized, so it wasn't like he just rolled him up like he hooked the leg and everything. I think there were little ways to skirt around it.
I get it. All right, maybe I don't totally hate it, but I still don't have to like it.
At least you like the match.
Yeah, I love the match. I mean, the Miz is on a roll. He's looking better and better as 2018 has gone on. That's for sure. The fact that he carried a match better than Randy Orton is something I don't think I could have said 10 years ago. That's for sure.
No way. And I don't care if you put Steve Austin in this Money in the Bank match. I don't care if you put Hogan in it. Miz is winning this Money in the Bank match. I'm bold prediction. Shots fired. That's my pick. He's winning and it's going to segue into it. It's going to, by the end of it, it'll be him and Daniel Bryan. That's how it's all going to come together. I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle together in my head. Does anyone else think Miz is just a shoe-in to win this?
I think that's hopeful thinking.
I'd have to see the rest of who's going to be in the match before I make my decision. I mean, I would say Miz definitely has a strong chance of winning, given the whole Daniel Bryan thing, that the story they're telling with him, and the whole Bryan versus Miz match that is eventually going to take place. So I mean, the Miz is definitely probably going to have a good chance of winning. But like I said, I'd have to see, the rest of the people who qualify first.
I also think Kuzan, they want this year's Money in the Bank to be the men's to be way more memorable than last year's with the lackluster Corbin stuff. I mean, because there wasn't any storyline connections with the cash in last year with Corbin. But with this, I mean, this could, in their documentaries, they could bring it up again and they could at least remember the Money in the Bank guy from this year.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, the Money in the Bank for me is basically it's a golden ticket for building a character. Because even if you don't have a title, it's a title in itself because like you have a spot. You have that spot where it's like at some point it's a potential, it's like 75 to 80% that you're going to become world champion. Like, even if you don't hold it for that long, you still can become champion. But, like, they fucked around with it so much last time. Like, the whole Baron Corbin, he should have kept that thing. Like, he got rid of it so quick, and it's like, right, now we have no Mr. Money in the Bank for the rest of the year. Even if you just keep it, just for them to lose it at the end, at least keep it for some time, because it builds that character. And you need that. You can't just have nothing going on. You have to have something in the back of the minds of the fans. Because even if like they don't remember it, and then you tease it, it's like, oh shit, and you got a shock factor. You've got that, smack in the face to wake everyone up.
You're totally right, and I agree completely with the golden ticket thing. It starts careers. We've also seen it rejuvenate careers too, when done right. I think they squandered it way earlier than a lot of people say. I thought they started squandering it when they just started letting guys like Edge win it again and stuff like former. I've always liked to see an up and comer get it, but that kind of negates what I'm saying with the Miz here. This will enhance the storyline so much if they do it in a route with Daniel Bryan, and I think it will add to it, which is the key factor in that. The spark is what you said. I was literally going to say Sparks too, so you took the fucking word out of my mouth. So tip the hat. Yeah, I agree, but they have squandered it, and I also think in their minds they don't want a men's and a women's at the same time. So I think this year we'll get the woman cash in earlier this year, so you can have just one. I'd like to see. It's a shame Maurice isn't active anymore, Colin. So you could have Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank if they both want it as like a total package for the gimmick. That would add so much to them if she was still, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I would love that. I got to be honest with you that Corbin cash in. And the whole thing that happened with Jinder, it made being a Jinder Mahal fan very difficult for that month, but I got over it. I'd made it work. It was a very conflicting time.
Thankfully, your insurance covered the therapy.
Fan of both of them.
Poor lad.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very excited. Money in the Bank is one of my favorite times a year. I always love the briefcase. I always love the cash-ins. And I mean, it can make somebody look at Ziggler when he cashed in on Del Rio. I mean, that was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard, is when his music hit and everyone was like, oh shit, he's gonna do it. And then he did it. And they're like, oh shit, he did it.
There was some rumors in Husba, JD, when Money in the Bank was announced this year, that there was going to be like 4 because of the brand split, 2 for each. And I'm so thankful they didn't do that. But there are rumors of maybe a tag team one, a third one being added this. What do you think about the possibilities of that? I think it's overkill. I think more than one ladder match on the card is overkill. But what do you think of that?
I think the tag match is first of all, the whole division's meaningless right now. It's just adding another ladder match. I guess the idea behind it is to bring some hype back to the tag team division, and this is the only way they could think about doing that, rather than having good matches. Maybe they built up. Maybe the other reasoning is they think the Bludgeon Brothers are too powerful on SmackDown, and no one can beat them without a cash in.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's the mindset behind it. How many tag teams are there? We already know basically all of them, unless it's a triple threat.
I think it would be great to see Breezango do it, even though they're on Raw and they're the ones that cash in on the Bludgeon Brothers, because they deserve those belts. If any team as hard as they've worked to get that gimmick over, even though it was shit in the beginning, they've made it work just being themselves.
I mean, if they just put 2 teams from each show, like the 2 top teams from each show, on or in the tag team match, I think it would work, because I mean, it would still be 8 men, so it's not going to be like a clusterfuck of people.
That's the fear. Will it be a clusterfuck? I think they'll add too many teams.
Yeah.
I think they'd realize, like, okay, if we add 4 teams and there's 16 people there, it'd be a bit much. I think if they just add 2 teams that they want, I mean, because in the end, only one's going to win. It doesn't matter who the other teams are, as long as they're, somewhat believable. So
I just want to see something different. I would like to see, actually, if you're to give me a tag team Money in the Bank style ladder match, I think this is just fantasy booking here for me. It's not realistic in any way because it would never happen. But the tag teams face off. First the tag teams qualify for it, right? Hear me out. Then you have the members of the tag team have a one-on-one match against each other for who's going to represent the team in the ladder match.
If they do that, that's a good way to have more teams represented in the match.
Exactly. That way you'd have more teams and it wouldn't be as many people. But that would never happen. So that's just me thinking. I don't doubt
that they haven't tossed that idea around. I feel like just because of how they work, they'd probably just do 2 teams from each show and have both of them in there at the same time. But I do like that idea of the teams qualify and then they just rock paper scissors, something like that. They just decide who's going to be in the match itself. So I would have been happy with it. As far as who I would put, who would you put in the match, JD? For SmackDown, at least in my mind, I think it'd be a great way to debut Sanity. Is have them, they win a qualifying match, blah blah blah. They put in Eric Young or someone, because I mean, they. In hindsight, you'd want someone like Killian Dane because he's big and he can crush people. But I mean, when it comes to ladder climbing, I'm sure he can climb a ladder just as fine as any other normal human being. But in the world of wrestling, if you're a big lad, climbing ladders is not your forte. So they'd probably put in Eric Young or someone like that, and it's a good way to give them a big push. That way, much like it is, hopefully they don't go on like the losing streak that most, Money in the Bank holders do. But I mean, it's still a good way to, they have something going on without having to, have a storyline going on at all times. They can wait, 4 or 5 months and, they don't have, I mean, obviously still have a match on SmackDown here and there, but I mean, they don't have to have a specific storyline going on. They don't have to have anything like that happening.
I wouldn't have them be in the match. I'd have them run in and steal the briefcase because there's nothing in the rules of the Money in the Bank contract itself that it has to be cashed in by a specific person who won the match. It's only the person who
did that with the Kingdom.
Did they?
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking
they stole the title in the ladder match and they're the champs.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm just thinking if you have someone who steals the Money in the Bank briefcase who isn't in the match, the owner, the person who has the briefcase at the time is the one who cashes in.
See, that's thinking outside the box.
That's what I'm thinking. Sanity should always think outside the box.
I love that idea. Sanity, Usos New Day qualify, but Sanity just near the end of the match just beat the hell out of everyone and steal the title.
You mean
I wouldn't have New Day because New Day in the bar. Oh shit! I don't actually know how they're gonna work that because on SmackDown next week they're having a match between New Day and the bar. Whichever team wins selects one of their people to go into the regular men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Well, it's just rumored. It wasn't confirmed.
About this whole booking thing.
Yeah, it's not confirmed. I just saw the rumor and what the possibilities that were. But yeah, I will say that thinking outside the box, you mean like double nut shot DQs?
Oh no, I'm thinking in the actual Money in the Bank match.
No, I know what you mean. I was trying to make a bad. Nobody sold my joke that time. How did you, Travis? I'm trying to just move the show along into the AJ Styles backstage interview here, where it was, and Shinsuke's too. We can talk about here 2 for 1. Let's talk about Shinsuke's first because it was way better and more entertaining than AJ Styles. Still doing the speaking no English, but the crowd was with it this time. He did talk a little bit more. He's doing this no fucks given heel, and I'm liking it still. I'm not hating on it as much as some people.
Did you like his button-up shirt that he had on?
fantastic.
He looks so silly.
What did you guys think of this?
I think heel Nakamura is just a blessing to everyone.
So weird. So weird for him to like.
I just love how Renee was done with his shit. He's just like, no, speak English. I know you can speak English. I know.
I do like how he goes,
you're
well,
lying
I
to me."
learned English, but now I forgot.
Yeah.
I like how he was like,
Uh.
AJ Styles, he nuts. And then he paused after nuts.
Yeah.
But I just as nuts. It was, and then, you know, just the standard fare. This is AJ Styles' house promo from AJ, blah, blah, blah. And
gotta
we
sell
got,
those t-shirts.
and this goes back to the still frame highlight package where it was just 3 pictures each of nut shots. The one from AJ, one from Nakamura, and the double one at the end. I was like, my God, that's your highlight package. Jesus Christ. And that, you know what? Give the devil their due again. That is thinking outside the box. I've never seen a finish like that where it was like a fucking Benny Hill episode where the guys kick each other in the nuts. And that was it. But,
Hill.
what can you say? What can you honestly say about just the image of that and what they've done with these two guys? What we've seen them capable of doing in Japan? It just blows my fucking mind where we're at with this. So way to go, Road Dogg.
World title for fuck's sake! Like, come on.
You don't do it on a pay-per-view. I would have been all for that to be like the SmackDown Go Home show episode where like they interfere in each other's matches or something, then they kick each other in the nuts. Like, what a way to go home. That would have been like, oh my God, it's fucking stupid. I love it. Now I'm looking forward to that match at Backlash.
On the road to low blow mania.
But no, it was a mid-card Backlash match. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Be a star.
Here's something that can cheer everybody up. Something that can cheer everybody up. Rusev and Daniel Bryan. Good match.
Are we not going to talk about Mandy Rose's remix Lana theme song and that whole situation?
We'll get there. I want to pick us up for a second after the depressing Nakamura Styles run. Rusev qualifying for Money in the Bank, getting the win against Daniel Bryan. What'd you guys think of this match, Colin? Start with you.
I thought the match itself was great. I think this was one of the first times in history after Shawn Michaels retired that a super kick has ended a wrestling match.
That's true. Oh, it's a Machka kick, but close enough.
It's a Machka kick. Machka.
It's close enough.
Yeah, they kind of built it up, didn't they?
Right, I mean...
Where Bryan's been taking a large amount of abuse. The commentary did okay in this match, for sure. They had me believe it, at least.
If I got cheeked in the face by Rusev, I'd be done. I'd tap out.
Does anyone else feel like WWE, because they've always never been big backers of Daniel Bryan backstage and all that bullshit, it feels like they're purposely trying to do like a reverse Roman. They're purposely trying to overexpose Bryan, put him in the Rumble for that long, have him on TV every week to where he's starting to feel unspecial already because we're seeing him so much now, where they want him to get like Roman, where we're sick of him because they don't want him to get over. Does anyone else feel like that?
I feel like that as well.
I really don't. I enjoyed that. I feel like breaking the Rumble record type thing was kind of like a consolation. Like, hey, we're sorry we hindered you for 3 years. Here you go. Have this record. Here you are. Because I enjoyed the 50-man Rumble. I'm sorry, I did. I enjoyed Daniel Bryan's performance. I think it's telling a story. I think it's, in the end, it's going to tell another great story like his whole WrestleMania 30 thing did. And I think, and a lot of people, online after this match were like, oh, Daniel Bryan lost. Oh, they're burying him. What are they doing? And I'm just like, okay, number one, don't be chanting Rusev Day every single segment on every single show and then bitch about him winning a match qualifying for Money in the Bank. That was my first thing. Secondly, he's not supposed to win right now. They're trying to show you that, like, Daniel, he's human. He's not invincible. He's not this Roman Reigns character. He's going to lose matches. He's going to have to fight. He's going to have to train. He's going to have to really genuinely work his way back up the ladder to get to the WWE title.
Those are the best fans to fuck with, too, on Twitter. The ones
Oh,
that
yeah,
are
all
so
the
back
time.
and forth like that.
It's so
All the time.
annoying. It's
My
so
reaction
annoying.
to Rusev winning this match was, and I believe if you guys remember in the Twitter group, I gotta wake up from this fever dream. Not only did Rusev win, but Bryan lost. Like,
Bruh.
what happened? I'm for it.
I mean,
Why not?
I was surprised. I thought for sure that Rusev was gonna lose. Like, I mean, when I saw that the match was announced, I'm like, okay, so Rusev not gonna win. That's expected. But he won. I'm very happy for it. I pray to God that they don't split him from Aiden English. I mean, I don't think he needs English necessarily, but I think Aiden English adds a lot to the whole Rusev Day gimmick. And I mean, he won the match, so there's no reason to be like, there's no reason for Lana to show up again next week and be like, you got to dump English. Why? We won last week. Who cares?
I kind of hope that just gets swept under the rug and like pretended that never happened. Like they realized that would have been a mistake.
Exactly.
Like it really irks me when wrestling fans they're so. I get that people really, and I mean really, like Daniel Bryan, but like it comes to a point where it's like it's either Daniel Bryan or nothing for them. Like that really, really irks me because it comes up under when WrestleMania 30 happened. Bryan won, and then like they had the whole feel good moment. Bryan got his whole thing. That was great. I was happy with that. But then they wanted it to happen again. And I'm feeling that like when WrestleMania comes up in the Royal Rumble this year and he doesn't win it, fans are gonna turn on the Royal Rumble again, or because Bryan isn't the main event again. Which, in my opinion, I don't want to see Daniel Bryan in a ladder match this soon when he's just come back, because it's way too much, way too fast for him. He's like, if he gets hurt again, like that could be it. Again, he could be on the shelf
It was
for
bad
a long
enough.
time. Yeah, like baby steps, okay? Baby steps.
It was bad enough they put him out there for an hour and 20 minutes when he first came out.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ. Like good for him because he still got it. But like, like it's just annoying when people just go, "Oh my God, they're burying him." It's like, no, they're not. They just
Bury is one of the most overused, if not the most overused word in wrestling.
He was like second in the company for
You know
fuck's
why?
sake.
Do you know why that is? Because nobody understands the fucking meaning of what it really means to bury a guy. When I think bury a guy, I'm thinking fucking blackballing him. They're just cutting his fucking legs out. You can eat some
DX.
losses in your career. Guys have made healthy livings for decades being jobbers. It's not that. You know what I mean? There's so much more to that word that people just don't
Becky
get.
Lynch comes to mind right now, which we saw on SmackDown.
Is it burying Becky Lynch or making Mandy Rose relevant?
Yeah, like
I don't
she
think it
could
was
be
a
doing some.
burial.
She could be.
No,
No,
I
I
don't-
mean in general.
It wasn't a necessary. I mean, you could look at being buried a number of different ways. I don't think this was Becky Lynch being buried by any means. I think it was just Becky Lynch was there. It wasn't about Becky Lynch losing. It was more just about Mandy Rose winning.
If Mandy
I don't
Rose
know.
goes
I don't
out on
know, man.
SmackDown,
What I was hearing from commentary, now they're saying things like, "Oh, she's in a bit of a slump. She's been on a losing streak. Losing streak bookings don't ever
But-
go anywhere positive." I've
That's
only
not
heard
true at
this
all.
where they want to. They don't work.
What
They
the
don't
fuck
work.
is she wearing anyway? Like Jesus Christ, that was awful.
I'm not complaining actually about that. If anything.
I was complaining. It's
Oh.
I
disgusting.
kind of miss her old outfit, but this one's fine too.
I'm,
but-
I feel like if Becky Lynch goes out there with Mandy Rose the next 2 or 3 weeks and keeps eating pins under 2 minutes, that's a burial. But right now I look at it as the first SmackDown Women's Champion. She has a resume under her belt to elevate Mandy Rose with a win or two right now. And they're
They don't
competitive
even
matches.
mention that anymore.
No.
Huh?
They never even mentioned that she was the first SmackDown Women's Champion.
They don't do any of that. No, this isn't the match to say that it's caused her burial. I think it's something that's been dug over time, and we've gotten to this point where she's losing to the blonde bombshell character in WWE in under 2 minutes.
I wonder what it really is. I wonder what it really is. with
I wonder
her
if it's her
accent.
accent.
Yeah, I was gonna say Vince hates
It's
the
just
accent.
simply that she's Irish. You might as well get. I made the joke on Twitter, was like, oh, where's her bowl of Lucky Charms? I can't tell she's Irish.
And then, you saw Lucky Charms on your screen.
I was like, oh my god. And then I literally see Sheamus eating Lucky Charms. Oh my god.
But talk about
Oh
the
my
theme
God.
song real quick before we get our milk out and eat Lucky Charms, Colin. The Mandy Rose remix that you're dying to talk about.
I just thought I was listening to it. I'm like, I could be wrong, but genuinely, I think it's just a slowed down remix of Lana's theme song.
I
Sounds
think
like
so as
Neville.
well.
Are they just that lazy sometimes?
I didn't even
Well,
pay
they-
attention. I gotta go
don't-
back.
I like CFO. I like the theme songs they make. So I don't mind it. I like the entrance they were going with, as far as like she's the blonde bombshell. She's great. Blah blah blah.
JD, you'll appreciate this. That reminds me of when Hacksaw Jim Duggan's theme. The original theme was for Big John Studd. It was just sped up more for Jim Duggan. Unreal. And they even back in '89, they acted like nobody would notice. As a kid, I noticed that. I'm like, that's John Studd's music. Pancakes in full force in the duffel bags of the bar, and they're horrible fucking t-shirts. Who are buying these?
Gross.
I don't know who's
Probably.
buying any WWE shirts these days. They're all so awful and boring.
Is
And
this
they're
the
really expensive for
worst
the UK.
era of designs for t-shirts that we've ever seen? And that's a bold statement. We've seen always pounding ass shirts from APA shirts. We've seen some bad ones, but they're just boring now. At least the always pounding ass shirt, it was, you can make, gay jokes out of it or something. But nothing now. It just bold font lettering. That's it.
Lazy.
It's text on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
With their catchphrase. That's
I just think back to I think it's the last tweet that Neville has sent in a solid 6 months, because he got a shirt and it was quite literally, it was just a gray shirt with some writing on it, and he's just like, this atrocity is not up to the Neville level.
it.
Yeah, it was great. Love
I'm
Neville.
just saying, the first paycheck I get when my summer job starts, I'm buying the Braun Strowman and Nicholas shirt. Jesus.
I hate you.
No one
You're the
can
problem.
stop me.
You're the problem.
You are the
I'm
problem.
reason,
Hey,
I'm the reason
JD,
they still
be a
make
star.
fucking shirts.
Oh, that's
You're
right.
like-
Be a star. I'm sorry, Travis. Thanks for keeping
You're
me
like
in mind.
people who buy microtransactions for EA. What's wrong with you?
Oh, God.
And then complain about the microtransactions.
Yeah.
How's Battlefront 2 going, Colin? No, I was kidding. The WWE should have a shirt now with a picture
Be a
of
star,
a B.
Travis. Come on.
WWE should have a shirt with a picture of a B, the letter A, and a picture of a star. Put it on WWE Shop just for JD.
I'll get it now.
I don't doubt that they have that. I'm
I
pretty sure
don't
they
either. It's probably the new Naya shirt in the works coming out. Fucking.
All right, I gotta look. I'll look that up while you guys are talking. Let's see WWE.
There was a bad gut feeling in my stomach
Yeah.
when I saw the Lucky Charms. I was like, oh Jesus Christ! But was anybody shocked? Let's be real.
I thought it was funny. I'm gonna be honest.
you
I
did.
had a
God,
nice
you really
chuckle.
are the fucking problem.
Dirty Yank. What's wrong with you?
You really are the fucking problem. What are you doing?
Hey, I'm sorry. I have a different mind. I don't know. I really.
I have a
don't
different
know.
mindset. I hate Irish people.
I wasn't grabbing my sides by any means, but I mean, oh, he's Irish. He's eating Lucky Charms. It's funny.
Fuck
I had
Ira.
a nice chuckle about it.
The storyline is just food wars, breakfast wars at this point.
I'm gonna buy a Seth Rollins standee. It's like 30 quid for a bit of cardboard. Ridiculous.
What if they have a match where it's just like breakfast foods everywhere and they fight?
It's like the Halloween specials that they do, where they put pumpkins on their heads and
Or the
shit.
Thanksgiving episodes of SmackDown are like
Ugh.
third
I just
turkey
get
episodes.
reminded of the fact when I went to SmackDown a couple months ago, and during the commercial break after a pancake segment, to clean out the ring, they just started tossing pancakes into the audience.
Oh, that's lazy.
It's not lazy, it's just a fast way to do it. I shit you not. They just handfuls. New Day and production crew, handfuls, chucking them into the road. I saw a pancake fly over my head.
Did
It
you
was
catch
Here you go.
awesome.
Did you grab one? Are they,
No,
like,
I wish
genuine
I
pill?
did. I wish I did.
Did you
but
see
no.
people eating them?
Oh yeah, no, people were eating them.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
disgusting.
The fuck is wrong with
No,
people?
like not off the ground, but if it fell on the ground.
I don't care if
that
they're
would
off the
have
ground. They're
big
from
problem.
strangers' hands, but sweaty wrestlers' hands being thrown.
in like Biggie's.
We all know
plot.
where Xavier's fucking hands have been. I'm not eating anything.
Poor
he's giving.
Samoa Joe. That's his T-shirt.
Oh.
Let's cap off SmackDown. Speaking of Samoa Joe, what else happened on SmackDown before we got here, guys?
It's 4 words on a T-shirt that says Joe. That's it. Joe, Joe,
Hey, go like a smidge to your right and look at the Fashion Police shirt. Well, I don't know if it's better, but it's
a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we doing, Travis?
Just what else happened on SmackDown before we get out of here? Because I don't remember the rest of the show, quite frankly.
That was basically it. There was also Charlotte Flair and Peyton Royce in that match.
Qualifying match. Charlotte got the Duke. I like the Iconics promo in this. I think they're annoying. They were meant to be annoying. Here's one thing before we get out of here. Speaking of sick of things, I am so beyond sick of these selfie promos. They're awful. I'm done.
No. I implore you guys, when we're done with this, whoever's listening, I want you to go onto Twitter. I want you to go to Primo. He's still there, believe it or not. I want you to go to Primo's Twitter account. I want you to look at the promo he's doing. And if you'll notice, his hand is, out in front of him. His hand moves, but the phone, I say with air quotes, does not. I shit you not. They did fake phone promos for people. He is just standing there with his arm sticking out, so it looks like he's recording it on his phone.
I saw that as well. I think you're right.
That wouldn't surprise me.
It was hilarious. I was dying.
That's great. Way to go, Primo. Yeah, Kuzan, what do you think about the selfie stuff?
No. Stop it. Get some help.
Get some goddamn help.
Stop it. Get some help.
There you go.
Stop it. Get a Sean Mooney. Get someone to hold a mic. That's all.
McDonald's.
Get that
chicken
McDonald's slide shirt.
Where can everyone get all of us? Colin, one more time. Where can everyone catch it and all that good stuff?
Check me out on Twitter at UberTieGuy. You can check me over at Future Entertainment. I'm going to be doing some stuff for Logan later in the day, I think. And then again on Saturday, you can check me out, right here at the Biggie TMD for Slam Pigs every week when I show up. And you can always check me buying just the most horrendous of shirts for wrestlers. If you have a terrible shirt recommendation, please send it my way.
Ken Patera.
Swiss Cyborg. You need your Swiss Cyborg. Mower of lawns. Come on, you need him.
I love that King of Swing shirt.
I'm just saying, the first shirt on my list is the Braun Strowman and Nicholas shirt.
After that, it's going
like
to be a
this
nice
Revival
shirt.
Top Guy shirt. That's nice.
I already have the Revival. No, I have the Revival No Flips, Just Fish shirt.
Irresistible Force shirt for Colin. Start a Patreon to get Colin's shirt.
I'm not like most girls.
Kuzan!
Well, no, that one's I'm not like most, and then that's all it says.
I'm not like most podcasters.
I'm
doesn't
getting
even
the one
say girls. I would get an I'm not like most girls shirts, but it doesn't even say girls.
I would get... No, it's there somewhere. I know the one you're talking about, but like the old school I'm not like... No, I'm going to buy the Hillbilly Jim Hall of Fame shirt. That's the one I need.
Hey, leave Hillbilly Jim alone. He was in a cartoon.
What?
Kuzan! One more time. Where can everyone catch all the good stuff?
You can find me on Twitter at KuzanTV. You can find me here on Slam Pigs. Every time we do a Slam Pigs episode, we usually run over current WWE stuffs. And whenever like some random news gets out, like someone nudes leak or some shit. You can find me on twitch.tv at twitch.tv/Kuzan_TV. Where I'm playing Skyrim at the moment. It was being really weird with the mods on the PC because the PC version is being really weird at the moment. I'm trying to get an Oculus Rift. I'm really trying to get
right now.
Yeah, like wait, is that the Oculus Go or is that the?
No, the Rift I believe is $200 now. They had another price drop.
Nice. Okay, I really want to get an Oculus Rift because like those things like I really want to try one. But yeah, come and have a laugh. Come and have a laugh. It's really fun. We're having good times. So yeah.
UWF too.
I found the I'm not like most girls shirt, but they only sell it in women's.
One more time, our very special guest, the man behind the plan, loves his wrestling from Japan. JD, one more time, where can everyone catch you?
You can catch me at BowlingJD. Twitter, Instagram, all that. Not being a star right now because they don't have a shirt like that. But I will be a star. I at the Red Leaf Retrocast. You can find it on Podbean, iTunes. Leave a review, please. Do that and all your other favorite podcast outlets for anime, video games, modern and retro, and of course, wrestling.
And Colin, and thank you again, JD, for coming on, man. Colin, one more time, who can we thank from the chat this week?
Oh, Jesus. I closed the chat. God,
I remember Tater Snake, Stone Mexican guy. Matt Tennant. Anyone else that stopped by the chat, we appreciate it so much.
Not another Game Collector was there. V Infuso was there.
That's right.
My boy.
All the good brothers.
All the good brothers.
Cesaro, Peak of Technique is $5 on WWE right now.
Sweet. Pretty cool.
Until next week, one more time, follow me on Twitter at TheBiggyTMD. Check out the Reset Button Slam Pigs podcast. Never drew a dime. Slam Pigs Union Smack is back. Look for it this weekend. Until next week, Slam Pigs podcast. See you then.